Darlings, I'm back. We have a full moon, full pink moon tomorrow, and we're just going to have a look at what has been happening for the past 2 weeks. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm roly-poly down my wall because I have to remember everything. So you see, we're right there. There is Queen Camilla has admired a giant decorated egg installed outside Buckingham Palace. So all this, since last time I spoke to you, we had the discovery of the lower part to the pyramids, which is, this is the king's chamber, is all within us. It's the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, the merging. The lion lies down with the thalamus, the third eye. And in the news, we now have Romulus and Remus, the wolves. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. So we have 11:6, Isaiah. They've changed the Bible. It used to be the lion lies down with the lamb. We've now got the wolf will live with the lamb. I think I covered that in the last video. And bam, I actually did a big post all about Romulus and Remus, and the next day they said that they had cloned these prehistoric wolves after 10,000 years. And then at the same time, we've got the king. We've got the king in Rome. We've got the CairO going on. We've got Charles and Camilla, 3-3, CC 3-3, the spine. We've got Charles Rex, CR, Canada, Russia, and we've got the CairO, which is this full moon coming up tomorrow. That's Pisces and Virgo, and it's right on that point between, let's get that full moon tomorrow. Is this the one? That's Easter Day. We're going to be covering all this. Is the full pink moon. So we got this full pink moon, and it's going to be right in the place of this new sign, Cetus, that we're going to be talking about, this 14th sign. They're making official the 14 pieces of Osiris, the fish, the CairO, the 14 pieces of Osiris merged, and this is exactly Mercury rules Virgo, Venus rules Libra, and then we've got the rulers Mars and Jupiter again, who are currently in the home of Mercury and Venus. Mars and Mars will be just arriving in Cancer tomorrow. So we're going to look at all this. So I'm just rolling down to get everything so I can remember. So there's been a 7.7 magnitude rocks. It's the 7.7. There has been a lot going on. Splash is coming, whale's tail, and then after that we had the Madrid line. They have done that Madrid line on the Aleph Tav. We are right at the CairO, the Omega, the Alpha Amigo. There we got the lambs everywhere. We're at the opening of the thalamus, April. So yeah, that's my rundown. Yes, that was a child, a girl called Virgin. She was called Virginia Juifre. So that means Joseph, comes from Joseph. So it's Mary and Joseph. This is the strength card. This is the lion, the lamb. There we have her, Mary in the middle. The lion, the lamb. That's why we had Giza and the Sphinx and Mary in the middle. So yeah, a lot has happened since I last spoke to you. So we're going to come down. So I've been talking about this wolf. I've been talking about this wolf app. We're in April. This is Appy, A1, P16. That is your 116. Flipped is 119. 69. Isaiah. And the lion will lie down with the lamb. The biblical verse, Isaiah 11:6, is known by many to read, the lion will lie down with the lamb, which is a prophecy of the age to come, the kingdom come. Many Bible believers had read that verse and it painted a picture in their minds. It is a beautiful and memorable, so full of hope and a beautiful change to creation many would hope for. A lion laying with the lamb would mean potentially no more killing, no more prey and predator. The verse means a lot, and it is a hope many people pray night and day to be part of, because this verse is so memorable and such a picture to be painted in one's mind. It was a picture many would not easily forget. The verse now has changed to read, the wolf will live with the lamb. So again, this is bringing us back to, you know, what spirits do you feed? We all have these wolves, these spirits within us. Which one do you choose to feed? And also bringing us back to what I was talking about, the victim and the aggressor, and this, you know, really coming to the fore now, this pattern of the narcissist, and taking full responsibility of why we have to live these experiences with the narcissist. I spent my whole life, I was brought up by one and then sold on at 16. And then it took all my power. Thank goodness I have Mars in Aries, and I fought 10 years, 8 years of divorce, and 5 different lawyers. And, you know, my ex-husband's cousin was the first female judge in France, and they had planned meticulously how to get rid of me without having a divorce. In France, if you leave the home, if you leave the home for 6 months, then there is no divorce, and that's what they wanted. And before that could happen, I stood up. So, you know, I really spent, and then I went and repeated it all. So I had to, for my Chiron return, I had my last one, the death, the sacrifice of my dog Happy. So I really was able, became an astrologer at that time, and now it's just all over internet, and I don't really like talking about it because you know, it's something that I like to keep in the past, but I can see that more and more people are able to see. That's what the film They Live was all about, being able to identify. And that's why I was talking about Stepford Wives and Chat GTP, and just the dangers if you're not able to you know, get through this narcissist, this mini me, this energy where you know, this mirror on the wall, this Alice in Wonderland, getting through the illusion, getting through the mirror. And that's what this full moon is all about tomorrow. This is the Pink Panther, this is the pink moon, this is all that pink Barbie. And you know, Barbie was the biggest butcher of World War II, and then they call this pink Barbie movement, they call Barbie. So it really is about the wolf today. So I was talking about that at the beginning of April. The verse now has changed to read, the wolf will live with the lamb. As I said before, thousands, possibly millions of people who know the Bible remember the lion lies down with the lamb. The Ages of America law books show some residue of what many of us believe to be the true or previous verse. So that's 9/11, 6/11, we've got 369, Tesla, and 11 Aquarius is this passage that we're doing now between Pisces and Aquarius, the 11th house. 369, you've got to get to the 12. 12 is Pisces, and Pisces means that you can get through the illusion. Oh yes, so we had the fall of Marine Le Pen in France as well. Pen is the sheep pen, Marine is Pisces. And it's about the rise of Lucifer. So for that eclipse, I last spoke to you just before the eclipse. This is one of the pictures from the partial solar eclipse, and there again you've got that Lucifer rising image, Lucie Castet in France. And then we had fires in France in the village of Castet, which is in the Landes. No, we had a wolf. That's what this is. We had a wolf. So here we go. Yeah, a wolf was found in the Landes. So Lou in the Landes, that's LL77, as we had that earthquake. And now we've got this wolf coming up. So it really has been all about Lucifer rising. This is the spirit. This is Venus. And Venus goes direct on the 12th for tomorrow for this full moon on the 12th, 13th. Okay. Right, we're going to go back over everything. And this is where Disneyland is in France at 7-7. This is the Seine, the area of the Seine in Melun. So you've also got Parc Astérix. Parc Astérix is at its 70th year. They said on the news today, look, we've got Saint-Loup, the saint of the wolf here, Marne-la-Vallée, that's right. So this is Le Landes. They say the first wolf in 100 years has reappeared in Le Landes, and I've been telling you about the blackberry, and that these are the Rumpelstiltskins, like on the spine. This is your gnome, it's your brain stem, the Dogon tribe. So we have finished this age of Pisces. They're showing us the Dogon tribe arrived, and now it ends in Le Landes with this new wolf, as Rome was founded by Romulus and Remus, and they have just come out in the news as Charles and Camilla are in Italy. And people ask me what is symbolic about Charles and Camilla being in Italy. Well, it's Rome. So I've been telling you, Rome, more Romulus and Remus. The village next to me, the home of D'Artagnan, is in Lupiac, and that's why my dog Appy, April, at the time of April is the time we're going to have our the meteor storm. This is the time that we have the Lyrad meteor showers. Occurs between April 16th and 25th, and we've got right now, we've got the sun. The sun is right in that V for victory, so that's where the 411, so the sun is on that V for victory from the time Prince Charles arrived in Italy on the 8th, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that same period is when the sun is going through the V for victory. So yeah, that was everybody saying that Neptune is going into Aries. When Neptune is in Pisces for the next 15 years, Chiron will enter Aries. That's what the big news is. So the Great Atlantic Split, American Pie is coming. Atlantic Divide, the Great Divide. I've put all this up on YouTube. Anyway, we're going to begin by looking at this full moon. Let's get into this full moon. Let's start with right now, this second. So we've still got Venus is going to go forward tomorrow. So we've got both Venus and Mercury now going forward. They finished their retrogrades and they are next to Saturn. And Saturn, so Venus and Saturn conjunct. This is, this is so important. Venus is exalted. Venus is your worth. She's your values. She's your peace. She's your ability to find peace. Or she is that completely seductive, narcissistic, Lucifer energy. Venus rising. So she's exalted in Pisces. This is really the Little Mermaid. This is that splash energy. And she's also money. So Saturn is restriction. This is the CairO we're at, and we've got echoes of Trump having completely destroyed the market. So it would seem, with Venus, Mercury, commerce, and Saturn coming together, that we're going to have a crash, some kind of massive ending of the maritime law, and that would be part of why Marine Le Pen crashed in France, the marine, and then the sheep pen can begin. So Venus that rules Taurus, the bull, the stock market, as Jupiter that rules Pisces is fixed, ready to collect all the money with the crash. Jupiter and Mercury, the rulers. Oh, let me put these in. I think this helps with the sound. So Jupiter ready to collect the benefits of this full moon. This is, that's Pink Panthers, where we had Peter Sellers in Paris. They were talking about the Tartuffe on the radio yesterday, and Mars is leaving the home of Gemini, but for this full moon, Mars is just going to enter into the moon eye, the home of the moon, the money, and Mars is in detriment in Cancer. So he's come back. This has been all about Mars making that journey. I told you in 1977, talking about the Homeless Persons Act in 1977. So this is Saint Martin de Tours. This is Prince William. It's going to be his birthday, and he is going to be crowned as this new savior. And we also had a financial crash we also had Mars. Mars was in Cancer in 1977. So where's Mars? This is, if I remember correctly, there was, when I did that video, Mars did a retrograde in Cancer. Yeah, so they're in exactly the same place between at the end of 1977, Mars did a retrogrades in exactly the same place. And that's when this Homeless Act. So this is going to really pump up financial crash, homelessness, and, bringing, what does Jupiter want? He wants to keep the rain, and he wants to, maybe the Sun King is coming in. So maybe this is to bring power to France. But, this is pretty enormous to have Venus and Saturn. So values, whatever, this is a big ending of the retrograding, ending of Saturn in his own home, now entering Pisces. And I have been explaining that this for me is the cleanup. This is going to be really shining the lights on all the illusions, people getting eaten up in the illusions of just depending on digital incomes. Saturn is going to really crash all the illusions in this area. And, this is about money, worth, love. So all these kind of issues are brought to the fore with Saturn right there with Venus, and then Saturn will enter for Easter Day. Saturn enters on Hitler's birthday, Easter Day, the 42 symbol, 20th of April. So actually on the 19th, 20th, he enters, and then we have Easter Day, and we also have the Sun enters Aries on the 20th. So this area here between Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces, Mars, the ruler of Aries, and Mars is going to be back deliberated in Cancer. So this full moon is very important because the moon rules Cancer, and we've got Mars moving into Cancer. So that is the energy of this pink full moon. Full moon is happening early in the mornings between the 12th and the 13th. And we're going to have, so Mercury's found visibility, and this is really the big conjunction between those higher chakras, Venus and Mercury, your values, your voice, your thinking, and Saturn. So Jupiter and Mars. Mars is going to be in Cancer for this full moon. So the moon, the sun is right in the V for victory, ruled by Jupiter, and the moon is right on blue star Spica. So Betty Blue, La Marianne, again, she's called Marine. This is the Marianne faithful. This is the Virgo girl rising. This is the Tesla, the blue star, Allez les Bleus, and Mercury, the ruler, is right next to Saturn, and the moon rules Cancer, and Mars rules Aries, where the sun will be entering for Easter Day. So this is the CairO, this is the fish, this is Charles in Italy. So let's have a look at Charles. So he's had a surprise visit with the Pope, addresses Italian Parliament in Rome. So she's all in blue. Charles arrives in Rome on first overseas agree since brief hospitalization. King Charles arrived in Rome on Monday for a state visit to Italy on his first overseas trip since being briefly hospitalized for the side effects of cancer treatment. Well, he's called Charles Rex, he's called CR, and we know that everything is about Jupiter and the Sun meeting for the summer solstice, Prince William's birthday on the 21/6. So this is really his role as the CairO to close the wheel, to begin to bring in this new. The 88-year-old Pope returned to the Vatican 2 weeks ago and made us rise 76-year-old King Charles. Okay. Right.
You want to make
state visit in Italy. I wonder how long they're going to be there for. They went to the Colosseum. So this is the chart for the full pink moon. So there we've got the moon right on blue star Spica, sun conjunct to CairO. Well, I mean, this is the CairO. We've got the sun right conjunct, completely conjunct with the CairO. And this is your alpha, omega, exactly as we see in the CairO. So there it is. You've got your Pisces. This is the last journey of the CairO. The CairO was discovered in, Chiron was discovered in 1977. Same time we had that last retrograde of Mars between Cancer and Gemini, and the last when this Homeless Act was created in 1977. This is Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. He is the savior. He is the cloaked Saint Martin de Tours, the role that Prince William has been playing. This is Will I Am. This is Save Willie. It's the Willie. It's the splash. And this full moon is right happening between this Mars and Jupiter and Venus and Mercury, as Venus and Mercury are on either side to crown Prince William. His birthday is going to be on this 21st of the 6th, when Jupiter will be on the wand of Merlin. And we've actually got for this date In France, we've got Batman and Robin, Sagittarius, Romulus and Remus on the vertical. Pluto is going to be opposite Mars again, so we haven't had that since the last time that Mars was in Cancer. Then he went back into Gemini, so now we've got this very intense Pluto-Mars. The last time we had that was when the Pope was opening the 5 doors, and then Mars was back in Gemini. So, and then what else? Pluto is square to Jupiter, and Jupiter is, so everybody's moving forwards. Everybody's forwards. Mercury is still in detriment and fall, but is visible now. And this north node is about to go into Aquarius, as Saturn is about to go into the home of Jupiter. And we've still got this 311, 911, this absolute point. 311 is this side, 911 is over here. This has got the Whore of Babylon. This is Mary who walks with the lion and the lamb. That's Mary and the lion, the Whore of Babylon. Mary had a little lamb, the thalamus. And, you know, this is, you know, it really is Isaiah. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, the calf and the lion and the yearling together, and a little child will lead them. So we've got Mercury, the little child, and Venus. So here it says Venus is still retrograde, but Venus is officially moving forward on the 12th, and Neptune right next to Mercury. This is Easter Day. Easter Day, there's no retrogrades at all. Nobody retrogrades, so this full energy, the sun moves into Aries as Mars is fully back in Cancer and making a square. So they've chosen they've chosen the last quarter moon. The last quarter moon, which is the day after on the 21st. So a lot of tension, and Mercury is still in Pisces. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini and Virgo. So there's just that south node. It's on the most, it's on that almost on the 1st degree of Leo, on the last. Yeah, so it's just, they're going backwards. So it's the 1st degree of Virgo and nearly on the last degree of Leo. And the sun rules Leo. Sun rules Leo, and Mercury rules Virgo, and Mercury is in full. So the last quarter moon before the 27th, when the moon will come for this new moon in Aries. So we're back into fire energy, and we've got this square between opposition Mars and Pluto. Mars square to the sun, moon square to the sun, Pluto square to the sun. And they've chosen this energy for Easter Day. Well, I would imagine that the Easter Day is really, there will be some event. This is probably the preparation of what's been going on in Italy, and that is going to be your CairO day, that Easter day. Oh yeah, and the moon is conjunct to Pluto. We don't really see it there, but the 20th. The 20th, we're going to have the moon right next to Pluto. Right next to Pluto here. So there will be, this is Ishtar, and this is why we've had Queen Camilla bringing out the egg. This is the egg. Okay, we're going to go back over some posts because it will bring back everything I need to remember since we last spoke. So there was this earthquake, this splash in Thailand, Bangkok. It's where we've got the Mer Lion, got the big Mer Lion. in Asia. Is it actually in Bangkok? Is that Bangkok? Bangkok, I'm not sure. Singapore, no, it's Bangkok, Thailand. So yeah, this was the Merlion splash. Boom. So I said in my video, Pisces, so it was in a hotel. It's in a hotel, Pisces. And we had that big splash. So then what's this? I'm talking about this 13th sign, this 13th, this part in the brain. There's your brain stem, there's your gnome. These are the Dogon tribe, they're on the spine. I'm gonna go whizzing through. Now this is important. So this was lovely Alana who sent this to me. So they're showing you officially there is Ophiuchus and there is Cetus, dubious, discuss. Yeah, well, just the fact that, so here's Cetus. Cetus, you've got these two signs, and what is important about these two signs is that they open in Lucifer's sigil. 13 and 14 is the gap, it's the crocodile period between Leonardo da Vinci, full expansion on the mutable cross, and then we have these all for one and one for all. D'Artagnan, in my village, Lupercalia, Lupus as Romulus and Remus, the founding of Rome, and we have this gap period, and between Ophiuchus is Sagittarius and Scorpio, that's Jupiter and Mars, that's Saint Martin de Tours, that feeds like Robin in Robin Hood. He steals from the rich to feed the poor. Saint Martin, and then here we've got between Cetus. Yeah, I can't see because I've got my face here. May the 12th, June the 6th. So why have they put March the 21st? They put it between Taurus and Aries. They put Cetus on this between Taurus. Well, yeah, between Taurus and Aries. Well, this is Cetus here. Interesting, because that's Aleph Tav. That's Aleph Tav, and we've got L in between, and here is Cetus under here. So for me, it was between Aries and Pisces, but this chart makes it look like between Aries and Taurus, so between Mars and Venus. Okay. So the V for victory, the V is 23. What's somebody written to me here? Sting. So everything is happening right now. We've got the sun going between this V for victory. It's the voice, it's Taurus, it's the brain stem. And there you've got Ophiuchus holding up, which for me is between these signs. So it could be between Pisces and, but it's between Pisces and Taurus, if they want to go all the way to Taurus. But for me, it's right in between the Saint Martin. And he's holding the snake, so he's holding the wisdom, whereas Aquarius, he has tamed the snake, he's owns the snake, he's got the wisdom back. This is the journey of Chiron, to find the healer. So here he's holding the snake, the Kundalini, the Kai, the CairO, the Chai is your Chai, it's your sacred energy. Sex and the secret nerve. There's a hermetic principle that states as above, so below. So if there's a zodiac above with 12 constellations, likewise there must be a human zodiac below. And there is, our 12 pairs of cranial nerves. However, there's another nerve called the zero nerve, or nervus terminalis. Although less talked about, it could hold the key to discovering our divinity. This zero nerve is responsible For smell and pheromones, it's been dubbed sex and the secret nerve. Now, if we compare this nerve to the 13th sign, Fukia, serpent bearer, the serpent slayer, takes on a whole new, so, this is holding on to that Kai, the energy, and it's a never-ending waging war. So you've got the Lucifer Sigils, you see, full expansion, and then for me, we've got this 13th sign here, 14th here. It's like expanding before complete clamp down to come back. And here we've got the Lucifer Sigil, and all this is it's just your ability to see. It's just your ability to, the two eyes, and come to that third eye. You know these pictures of Lars. This is the correct closure here, and this is the Joker closure. So that's what I mean. This is the Lucifer Sigil. It's finding that true vertical horizon, and the V for victory. So this is why it's so important right now with the sun in that V for victory. And this shows you the pink Floyd, and this is the pink full moon tomorrow. It's the prism. Pisces is the prison. 12th house is prism. It's the ability to see through. The square earth and compass heaven, which houses the Freemasonic G-spot. This G is what science calls gravity. L, 7, G. G is the 7th letter. It's your L. So between Taurus and Aries, Israel. We got Medusa. Medusa was slayed by Perseus. What science calls gravity, this is wrong. It is in fact called dielectric inertia and acceleration, and this accelerates towards inertia, center of earth, the still point or equilibrium, counter space, the breath between the space between each breath. So there's Cetus, 2 calendar systems. So it's not just 13 is that central point, and then adding this 14th, the 14 pieces of Osiris, all for one and one for all. Look, Lars is showing the whale's tail, the tail of Cetus, the wings of Lucifer. So somebody said that the floods that we've just had in America, it looks just like the shape of this scorpion in this image. And we're going to come to that. La Marianne, the 13th chakra is in Moscow, in Moscow. And this is Venus ending her retrograde on the whale's tail. And we had the big splash. Free Willy, save Willy, and here comes Willy. And there he is, Saint Martin de Tours with his cape. William Telltale, they get rid of the apple above, and all we've got left is the Pomme d'Api, April, the Nile, the floods, and they're doing it over the Madrid line. There he is with his cloak. And this is why I show you 1977, and that earthquake in Bangkok was 7.7. Showing you the V for victory. We've got the sun passing there right now. And this is where the CairO is. You can read that. My dog snoring. I don't think you can hear my dog snoring. That was the eclipse. We had red sky in Biarritz. That was pictures taken just next to here. in Biarritz. Okay, so then what? Oh yeah, and then I didn't know. I had no idea that his borders was called ice. And then this Andrew Cross character dies. So remember in Paris, Texas, got 999966. This is the route to Memphis. That's where all the floods were, in Memphis. And we've got ice in the film Paris, Texas. And then it's called, I wondered why people kept talking about ice. I didn't realize it was his immigration. So there he is, Travis. Travis is the Madrid line of the eclipses. And we've got YouTuber Andrew Cross dies at 36, taken off life support, showing us exactly the same Andrew Cross. And at the same time, we've got the big scandal, the Epstein, and this girl who dies in Australia. I didn't know it yet, in a car crash. So Paris, Texas. This is, you know, there's always this screen, this block, and that's why I talk about. So remember Vanilla Ice, remember the Vanilla Sky, Tom Cruise. It's all an illusion. It's what we're going through in Pisces. And then I found this Vanilla Sky ice cream. So it's Vanilla Ice, ice cubes, and Narnia. This is, you know, the freezing, the Ice Queen, Paris, Texas. And, you know, it's like, it's the iron, it's the Lucifer, it's all built in iron. And we've got this full moon right on that blue star. I always tell you about Betty Blue. It's 37. The film is called 37, just like in Thelma and Louise, and Marianne Faithfull, who sings Lucy Jordan at the age of 37. And we have the famous film with Betty Blue, 37, Betty Blue. There we go, the famous film that I always show you with Beatrice Dalle. 37.2, that's L. E37 is EL. Back to front, L. Betty Blue, and this is the blue star where we have the full moon. Okay, so his victory, Andrew Cross. This is the Andrew Cross. That's why the chemtrails, it's the Scottish flag. And we have the spiders that were created through electricity by Andrew Cross that I tell you about all the time. And then we've got this character, Andrew Cross, spiders. And there's also the Andrew Cross spider, which makes that exactly, he's hung upside down. Spiders, electric. Create life from electricity, and that's what's going on with all the chemtrails. So Vanilla Ice. YouTuber Andrew Cross, known as Desert Drifter, that's DD44, D-Day, dies after being taken off life support. Ice, Paris. So this is Chat GPT, G7LPT. There she is, Natasha Skinsky, who played in Tess, de D'Urberville. And the star is going to be right on blue star. So there we've got, that was what we saw for the eclipse. The moon was exactly like this, as in Odyssey 2001. And 2001 to now is 14. It's 24 years. And Easter Day is going to be on 2/4. So it's your 42 symbol of Jupiter, 24 heures de Le Mans car race, 24 hours of the man. That is the eclipse above tall Glastonbury and the red sky. And this is Lucifer rising, Marianne faithful, and there we have, exactly like in Lucifer rising, that eclipse. So, you know, we're right there. And the Pope at the Vatican, the mascot is called Lucy. So we're moving on up. And then I remember that I found a book by somebody called, Neil Klein's Underground Travel. The Luke Bright series comes to this thrilling conclusion. So, you know, it just seems that we're at the Great Divides and this splits, the Atlantic divides. So that's what I was thinking about when I was making that post. Yeah, it was, you know, all to do with the trade. We've got the triangle trade, Europe and America, the end of the transatlantic relationship. And I think that's what they're showing us in Paris, Texas, when you always get that screen. And, you know, this is going to be building. And there we've got that image for this split. Something about an explosion in the sky, which is, you know, talking about your thalamus, your third eye. So then we were on the 30th of March, and I think, so that was the eclipse. There's your Marianne faithful, Lucifer rising, 2001, 9/11 till now is 24 years. Yeah, it's the 24 years. And Marianne and the Lucy of the Pope, Lucifer rising. And then we have Le Pen crashes. It's Venus, you know, there's the Venus. Venus is about to move forward for this full moon. In the long run, it's always just about the free martins and the fertility, taking her fertility. So this full moon is right on that, in Virgo, the Virgin. There is the eclipse over Glastonbury, the red sky next to here. Okay, we're whizzing through here. So then, the end of March, we had the wolf. The wolf is the mid-flow of our torso field. The brainstem gnome is the medulla oblongata on stilt stem of our spine. Lewin Land, LL77, a wolf spotted in the commune of Castet. So that's why I've been showing you this girl, Lucy Castet, Lucifer rising. Castet means to break the head. Cast, break, tet, heads. So it's showing you this is about your spirit. You know, the wolf is that brainstem. It's the rumples. It's your, can you control your medulla oblongata, is about your emotions, controlling your emotions with the amygdala. You know, the amygdala and the medulla oblongata is not the pineal and the pituitary glands. That's your head. This is the journey to get to the head, to tame the spirit. What spirit do you feed of those two wolves within you? So this was before they brought out Romulus and Remus, and you're going to see I talk a lot about wolves before we've now got people talking about wolves everywhere. So a first in a century in the lawn. Grey Lou, so a grey wolf. Grey Lou again is GL, Good Life, Lord Gruffalo, Liberty and Glory, LG. Wolf found in Castell, Breakhead. Lucie Castell is a French civil servant and economist associated with the Socialist Party. Castell was nominated by the New Popular Front to serve as Prime Minister of France in the aftermath of the 2024 legislative election, but her candidacy was rejected by President Emmanuel Macron. The presence of wolves has been detected in the Lawn department. A sheep farm was attacked. The land prefecture confirmed the presence of wolves in our department. So this is right next to me, via a press release on Monday, March the 31st. So Our Lady of Landes, this was the famous airport that I always used to talk to you about because I knew how important. So all these people, all these wild wolf people, for 14 years, they camped on site and they stopped the airport. So what does that mean, they stopped the airport? They stopped your ability to find heaven, to fly, and Our Lady Notre Dame of Landes. And what do they find? They find the wolf. And what's the wolf? The wolf is the she-wolf, which is Le Louvre. That's why at Le Louvre in Paris, you have the pyramid, and that's why they've just found a pyramid. Below the pyramid, they found the columns. They found 8 columns because Venus, every 8 years, makes her 5-pointed star, which is my village, which is next to Lupiac, the home of D'Artagnan, which is Lupus, the wolf, the home of the wolves. So the she-wolf, Our Lady of Land. So this is not actually in the area of Le Land, but it's interesting that it's got the same name as where they've just found the wolf. There is a big connection to this area. And in the old days, 7-10 years ago, I was explaining how important this was symbolically. They stop the aeroplane, they stop Aquarius, they stop Saturn in Aquarius, and now Saturn is entering the home of Jupiter. We have on the 20th of the 4th, Easter Day. This is Ishtar. That's Venus and Saturn conjunct. That's Ishtar, Easter, Easter Day. So it reads, the timing was not specific. However, Canis lupus, the French official for Bayadua, has detected the presence of a grey wolf, Canis lupus, in the commune of Castell, in the south of the department. So, I mean, can you believe that? I just showed you Lucie Castell. I've been showing you pictures of her and explaining it. So there she is, Lucie Castell, Lucifer, showing the same colours as in Lucifer Rising. We've just had the eclipse, which is the same as in Lucifer Rising. Marianne Faithfull, who dies on the day of the aeroplane and helicopter explosion. And it makes the shape of symbols of a lost sky of Venus. So, here is Venus. We're coming to the summer solstice and we're ending the age of Jupiter and Mercury, and they're now rising Lucifer, rising now Venus is in. This is why the V for victory. This is why the sigil of Lucifer. And I'm explaining that they've now found the 13th and the 14th sign, because this is that full expansion before we fully come back. And the time manipulation has meant that the true Aquarius, the sun enters Aquarius on the 16th of February. That's 162. That's your PB, Paddy Bear. 16 is P, 2 is B. But instead, they've got now the summer solstice, Prince William's birthday, the wand of Merlin, where there is the Bangkok earthquake of 7-7. It's the two corners of your brain. It makes that 7-7. Or the masculine or feminine voice is an exact L angle that we have, the hangman in our throats. Yeah, I'm remembering everything now. So the medulla oblongata is the connection between the brainstem and the spinal cord, carrying multiple important functional centers. It is comprised of the cardiovascular respiratory regulation system, descending motor tracts, ascending sensory tracts, and origin of cranial nerves 1X, X, X1, and X11. So that makes 12. And that gives you the 14, the 12, the gap between the 12 cranial nerves, and the 13th and the 14th full expansion. So we've got this wolf everywhere. We've got wolves everywhere. Rumpelstiltskin, I tell you all the time. Lucy Castet, the mascot, your little gnome at the back of your brain. That is the bird, the female, and the little Rumpelstiltskin. And tomorrow is the birthday of my grandson, and I tell that famous story of when I was in New Zealand in 2016, that's 216, and I was there for the birth of my grandson, and that's when I met the king of the goblins. I had this incredibly visual dream, and it was literally saving the war for the little the gnomes that come to take the child, and saving the soul. You can read that in my article that I often post for you. I'll add it to this video. So this is the Ponce. We had the comet, the Ponce Brooks, PB, Paddy Bear, and you can see that Appy, the bull god, is just the brainstem. It's just the brainstem. So if they really are bringing up this 14th sign in between Taurus and Aries, it would make sense because it's crowning the brainstem, Appy, the bull god. There's that earthquake. 7.7 is 14 pieces of Osiris. And there is 14, the 7-7 department in Paris, Seine-et-Marne, so it's on the Seine, and the Marne, the Seine is the scene. So the Seine, Dirty Diana. You always see Rumpelstiltskin. It's just Pan, it's the same character. Amygdala, it's your best, it's your Pascal. Front page of the newspapers today. Let me see if I can find it. Agneau, the Seigneur des Anneaux, the Lord of the Rings. In French, Lord of the Rings is Agneau, rings, anneau, rings, and lamb is agneau. So they had in the newspapers today, Pascal, Supermarché, Agneau, images, Pascal Vent. Yeah, that was it. They had in the newspapers, and I took a picture because it just, you remember Pascal, the Venus, Lavette spoke about, and Lars and I covered. So yeah, this I took a photograph. Un agneau qui s'appelle Pascal, c'est qu'une fois par an. A lamb called Pascal is only once a year. So it's a supermarket selling the leg of a lamb. You can just see half of it, but that is Michel, what's he called? Cotterelle, Venus, Pascal, Maurice Cotterelle, that's it. The myths of Maurice Cotterelle. I wonder if I just take, so, he's called MC, Maurice Cotterelle is MC, the MC, and he talks about Maurice Cotterelle. I don't want that. Maurice Cotterelle Venus. So this is it. This is the Venus Cotterelle. Cotter. Right there. So all these images, the lost tomb of the Viracosha, so that's your VC. We've gone from CV coronavirus 322, my postcode, to BBC, back from to Valentine and Cupid, VC. So this is all the Pascal. This is the Pascal they find by putting the third eye is found. They put, so, you know, these guys there, and there is your fish, your vesica pieces in the middle, the fish in the eye, and this is exactly where we are right now. So you can go and see his presentation on Venus, and there, look, you've got the crab, and we've got Mars coming back into Cancer. The journey of the Holy Grail, Jesus, King Arthur. So, you know, these are all the fake stories to bring in the fake. You know, this is exactly where we are. We're going into their fake golden age. The sword in the stone, the holy, yeah. So I don't want to go too off track. And there he is. That is your Pascal. That is the that is Viracosha. The Viracosha is this little man. There he is, Bess, that I met. It's always the same story. This is why the little prince, the little pass, the nail clippers, and you've got the head in the middle. So we're right there, and this little pass, him, he's coming in now. There's no, Trump is playing the role. He is the nail clippers. He's going to clip. He's cutting down. We're having the crash. You know, this is Stephen Paddock at Las Vegas in 2016, the shooting from the 32nd floor, 32 paths of wisdom, 32 is where I am in France. So there, that is just the same. It's the Viracosha. Bess, the god of fertility, and this is what we're dealing with. It always comes back to the same story, and I've been telling you about it, and this, we've now found the wolves, and this happened in Lalande, where I've been showing you the pictures of the men on their stilts, Rumpelstiltskin, and still people don't join the dots. It's all happening, as I say. Even I can't, I have to go back over everything to remember. Okay, so let's try and whiz along. So that, I think, is just a repeat. Now I'm beginning to really pick up on the biblical verse. I've read that to you. And, you know, this is it. The wolves eat the lamb. They eat the thalamus, the third eye. That is your spirit. Which spirit do you feed? So I don't need to go over that. Then we've got this girl, Virginia, Virgin, Whore, Horizon, Lion, Sphinx, Leo, lies down with the thalamus, Lamb, Aquarius, Giza, the new horizon. So there, she's got her eye blacked out. The whore eyes on, becomes the Babylon whore Putin. And this is where the full moon is. The full moon is right. What's that? That's the, yeah, the full pink moon. We've got the south and the north node right between this whore of Babylon, right between this 311, 911 and the moon. And here they are just about to go. This is the CairO before, this is the CairO goes into Aries. Alpha Omega and the sword in the stone. I mean, it couldn't be more in your face. So I just picked up this story. The Virgin becomes the new horizon, becomes the Babylon whore Putin. Virgin becomes a wolf, car crash. Again, it's everything I've said. Fall of Andrew Cross, rising of Lucifer, Venus, Mary and the Lamb. So I write all this, and then we've got Romulus and Remus come out. 2 days before Romulus and Remus come out, I did a whole thing about it. and still people don't click when it happens. That will, you know, this is the new Rome. It's everything I've said. The fall of and rising of Lucifer, Venus, Mary and the Lamb, Joseph, MJJM, Mary, Joseph, Mary, Virgin, Joseph, Juif. This girl is called Virginia Juif. So Juif means Joseph. And Virgin, Virginia, is Virgin. And Virgin is Mary, so it's Mary and Joseph. Mary is Mercury, Joseph is Jupiter. We've got this full moon, Mercury-Jupiter axis, the mutable cross. Joseph in English is a common surname in southern Italy, particularly in Sicily, will be out tonight. Briefly, Virginia Woolf wants women to be free in every field. So then I talk about Virginia Woolf, because Virginia Woolf is the wolf. And this is Le Louvre, is the female wolf in French, in Paris, Le Louvre. And Virginia Woolf, what did she do? She states that the rights given to men about working with equal rights as men, fair wages, equal pay, there wasn't a bigger feminist. This is Betty Blue rising. This is La Marianne rising. Having equal right in education and sex equality should be given to women as well. So there is the wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat. This is the new Bible. We've got Mary in the middle. This should be, you know, this is not, the whore of Babylon is not where we're going. We're going back onto the fixed cross, and then we'll have Aquarius on the horizon, but they've manipulated all this for Mercury to remain in the story, Gemini, but who's going to take over? Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. So the whore of Babylon, La Marianne. And who are the twins? The she-wolf, Romulus and Remus. So we've got Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus is next to Gemini. So Venus in Virgo is in detriment, and Venus in Pisces is exalted. The two sides of this Venus, upside down Venus, and the twins is Prince William's birthday, when we've got the Sun and Jupiter on Merlin, on the wand of Merlin. But this is now the Washington DC, where we had the plane crash. Washington DC, the new DC is Pisces falls under the horizon, and Virgo rises above to ride the lion. And, you know, so there's Mary and Joseph. YouTuber falls, and this girl who claimed, so Prince Andrew, because Prince Andrew is the cross that falls. We've got the whore coming in. Jupiter, Mercury are over. Venus is now coming in. Lucifer rising. She's showing you her horizon. That's why they show you that underneath the lamb, the third eye, they give you 8 pillars, because that's Venus's cycle to open the 5-pointed star, which is my village where I live. So there's the lion in between the cross, and there is Baghdad Cafe. We've got the two sides, Venus in Pisces and Venus in Virgo, Africa, Jupiter and Mercury come together and rise. Venus is rising. And look, the Baghdad is what they found in it's the battery. So I was showing you the week before the Baghdad battery, Andrew Cross, BB, and then I'm showing you Lupus, and then we've got Romulus and Remus that come up. And the lion shall lay down with the lamb. There's no whore of Babylon in between. That's Jupiter and Mercury bringing up Venus. There she is. And this is, you know, all happening as we've got the partial solar eclipse. I mean, it's just incredible. And he's standing right in between there, Memphis, before we have the floods in Memphis, showing you his Andrew Cross's victory. There, Osiris, the 14 pieces of Osiris. And Virginia Woolf. And look, feminists don't wear pink. We've got the pink full moon. And this is the guy, Jordan Bardella, so JB, again, Boaz Jacquin, who will take the place from Le Pen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 8 pillars underneath. So yeah, they put me in big prison with all these posts. Showing you the lamb. They've got one of these people holding lambs. Social media is always subconscious programming. So then what am I showing here? Then I'm saying, before I hear about the flood, splash is coming, whales, tell. I don't have time to sort pics. Already took me 2 hours to do post. But think, Disney, Sydney. So this girl has some car accident in Sydney. So she has an accident with a lorry, I think. So this is Venus with Saturn. They're conjunct right now. But think, Disney, Sydney, land address, Paris, BD, depart. Oh yeah, my God, I found that out. Yeah, my God, yeah. So Disney is in 77. The address of Sydney in Paris, the Paris Disney. And we've got Paris Jackson at the moment, Venus, the daughter of Michael Jackson, all over for the Paris Fashion Week at Le Louvre. So the Disney in Paris, the address is 777. That's 21. The World Card, the Aleister Crowley, and it's at BP Boulevard du Parc. That's BP. In Seine-et-Marne, 77 districts, and it's northeast. Yep. So 77, the angles are the wings, the L's of Lucifer, the 77. It should be the back of your brain, the 2 corners, but Jupiter has no air wings to take you to heaven. So LL 37 is L 3377 is the L pyramids. So L is 3773 back to front, or 7. Yep, L is the top. So there's Disneyland Park. That's the address, 777. There's your 77, the female, male voice. This was, yep, this is the, I'm talking about the full moon, the sun, creation. Oh my God, the creation of Disneyland was the 12th. No wonder I met all the goblins for my grandson's birthday in 2016. I had this story. It's on this date. Venus, Mercury, and Venus and Mercury had just finished a retrograde on the creation of Disneyland Paris, 1992. 1992, we had Venus and Mercury, and the date was the 4th of the 12th. Well, yeah, that's exactly the same as today, the 4th of the 12th. And look, we had Venus and Mercury had just ended a retrograde. Well, there's Mercury retrograding. Mercury retrograded, and then Venus came in and did her retrograde dance. Maybe she didn't go retrograde. Maybe she didn't, but they were together. Mercury and Venus were there on the whale's tail, right there, as they are now. So the whale's tail, the wings of Lucifer, it's also, you know, the Caduceus. It's to find, and it's also this merging. So they kept saying everything I said. So yeah, they keep saying, see post anyway, that this is fake, but basically that's the third eye in the spine. So Jupiter, 42, the pyramid, the pie, and match to perceive a rainbow. So this is Jupiter, and we've got Easter Day on the 20th the 4th. Pink Floyd, pink full moon, 7-7, Animal Farm, pigs. It's 2 sevens give you the 3 angles to the triangle. So 14 pieces of Osiris, 7-7, give you the 21 tarot card, the story of O, the passage into the new age. So there's your wolf woman, the wolf and the third eye. What spirit do you rise? Rising out of the ashes between Jupiter and Saturn. And we've got this pink and pale blue between the masculine axis orange and the feminine axis black and white. Gives us pink and baby blue. And there is the one sex coming in. And there we've got Mars, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury. Okay. 72 years is 1 degree of the sun. So Rome, Romulus and Remus, I'm showing you. And this is the CairO, the splash, the 777 is also that 111. And the Hebrew letters. And here is where we then had the splash. So I'm showing all this. And then we have the floods come in. So it's your Madrid line and the road to Memphis, 66, where they've been showing Travis from Paris, Texas, Chat GPT. So this is why I'm not jumping on, I mean, I couldn't even imagine talking to a computer. I just don't need that consciousness. I'm all Aquarius. I just wouldn't dream of talking to a computer or asking a computer to do any of my thinking. Talking head, 7-7, robots. There's your Bangkok floods. There is your hangman, which is in your throat. Lucifer rising, the Georgia guidestones, they fell. The T, this is just the back of your brain. When they fell, the GG 7-7 is the back of your brain. That's what we see there. Apostrophe is the 9 or the 69, and Disneyland Orlando is right on the trigger where we had the Florida floods. Disneyland coordinates 33, the spine. We've got Camilla and Charles in Rome, and this is the full moon on Spica. And in 1992, what was that? That was now. And in 1992, we had the moon between the Solomon pillars. There is your new symbol. Kids only, no more adults. Pyramid, and there is your Virgin. This is the Louvre. That's why the Louvre in Paris is this triangle, the female wolf. And we've been seeing all those spirals in the sky. Well, there's your spiral in the sky. This is exactly, it's your hourglass. The star, I am from the Taurus Stargate. So this is it. We're right there. Venus, 2 directions, Venus in Pisces, Venus in Virgo, Aphrodite, and that is the plane that went missing is your L. 3773 is the pyramids. It is the L and the, there it is. And this is this. Do you get it now? Do you get it now? The Vesica pieces, 3773 is your L, it's the pyramids. And then here's the eclipse path, and here are the floods. I added this picture afterwards because somebody sent me, and that looks just like, they also shows, it looks like the scorpion being crushed by Ophiuchus. Okay. So then we have this egg that pops up, Green Man, Humpty Dumpty egg, outside the King's Gallery, the all-seeing eye, your third eye, your pin, the last egg, the aigle, eagle rises, L3773, the pyramid, the thalamus, the lamb, Buckingham Palace is your BP again, the green lion lies down with the lamp, green fertility, the gardener, Camilla admires lovely Easter egg in first outing since Charles hospitalized. Queen Camilla, so they have the queen, this is the queen of heaven, Ishtar with her egg. So the green man, Humpty Dumpty, and it's called the green man, Humpty Dumpty. Give me a break. So contrary to popular opinion, the idea that ancient deities were somehow the gods or goddesses of simple, particular things is far too simplistic. Ishtar was the Akkadian counterpart to the Sumerian goddess Inanna and came to be identified with the Semitic goddess Ashtar. Inanna had some associations with fertility. She was associated with the date palm and with wool, meat and grain, but she was primarily a goddess of kingship, war, sexuality and the planet Venus. Her symbols like the egg and the bunny were and still are fertility and sex symbols, Ishtar. So, you know, we've got Venus and Saturn conjunct for all this. And I've been telling you, this is Ishtar. You know, I had all that experience when the Pope opened the door of the owls. I had 5 owls in my house, first time ever. And, you know, I had that dream when I first bought this house holding the 2 snakes, which I gave away, lost my vitality. They went into the straw. So the cosmic egg, there it is. There you have the 2 cats, Puss in Boots. And there we've got the Alpha Omega and the Eye of Horus in the middle. Ishtar, the Queen Inanna, alien. If an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. If broken by inside force, life begins. Great things always begin from inside. So the Ishtar gate, Inanna, little star, and the fleur de lis is just Inanna, the bee, the 13th sign. There are 13 moon phases. And again, the spine, the third eye, the brain, the Holy Grail, it's always the same thing. The Holy Grail is the stem, holds between, it's the medulla oblongata, which is what this Super Bowl is. They're showing you the spine, they're showing you the fist as the brain stem, which is just, you know, it's an alien. That's your A LIEN. And so here is the egg. This is the cosmic egg. Mundane egg is a mythological motif found in the cosmogonies of many cultures and civilized, including in pro-Indian Europe. An egg which upon hatching either gives rise to the universe itself or gives rise to a primordial being who in turn creates the universe. So we've got this new egg. This is the Romulus and the Remus. If you can merge the 2 sides of the anima and the animus, the Orphic egg. It's the Kundalini and the planets. You know, we're right there. This is what's going on right now with Camilla and Charles. So Queen Charles, King Camilla, Queen Camilla, and the green man. And now we've got this egg called the green egg. I mean, the fertility. This is the lion when you have Mars and Venus come together, the copper and iron in alchemy, you get the green lion. And this is what you find between St. Andrew's Cross. This is Venus. The lion lies down with the lamb. So look, this is an implant of AI. It's this Spider-Man, this living spider like we see in the Andrew Cross in electricity. So Canada and Canada, Russia is CR, the CairO. So here is the green lion eating the sun, Humpty Dumpty, and Ophiuchus To activate the unconscious means to awaken the divine, the devil, Kundalini, to begin the development of the superpersonal within the individual in order to kindle the light of the gods. Kundalini, which is to be awakened in the sleeping Muladhara world, is the superpersonal, the non-ego. For this reason, Kundalini is the same principle as the Sota, the savior serpent of the Gnostics. So this standing on Scorpio looks like that area of the floods. There is the lamp. This is the fertility tubes. This is Virgo and the birth of this new egg. So that is the Anki. And this is exactly what we've got now. This Holy Grail, the holding of the cup. But the wolf has come up at Castex. So this is what Isis and Osiris, Shiva and Shakita, Jesus and Magdalene, as well as many other deities before represented, known as the Hieros Gammas, sacred marriage of the god and goddess. The uniting of such twin flames is very powerful because of the multiple levels of connections between the two, that it results in a telepathic and eminent feeling of energies of one another that are felt even when apart. It becomes the magnum opus, the work, and if there is enough understanding from both parties and they successfully unite in this lifetime, it becomes a higher mission that they will accomplish together. So this is the rising, and we're at the end of this cycle now. The micro and the macro, the Orphic mysteries, the Philosopher's Stone, the CairO, the space between each breath. This is the cross and the CairO. This is exactly, this image shows exactly what's going on right now. L 322. And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. It's just Romulus and Remus. And here are the free martins, the end of fertility. You are the key. This is all the New Zealand, the green. That's why I had such a big time in 2016 in New Zealand. So there's Mercury, Venus and Saturn tomorrow, and the sun in that V for victory. Oh, there is D'Artagnan in the village next to me, and my village is Egg. AIG is the egg. So is my village going to take a dart? My dog Happy was sacrificed on Easter Day, so I would be aware of all this. So we've got the corner and the compass and this journey to find the Rebus, Humpty, and there's the crown of victory, Venus. This is the passage, the heart, star of Ishtar. So in a way, this is the Venus and Mercury and the wand of Merlin, the children's, the salt, the sulfur I showed you. Salt, sulfur, Mercury, the children, and the pole. Gardner, Peter Sellers. Venus, the figure symbolizes the pineal gland, the pine cone. That's why they're in Rome. The pine cone is in Rome. This woman is also the back of our brain. Fertility, the fertility. So at the same time, they show us the Mary on the rocks with the red and yellow. I mean, look at that image of Mary right next to, in B, the B, a Ritz. Princess Diana was last seen at the Ritz. Here we are at Biarritz, the Virgin on the rocks. And look at that. So then we've got this tornado. Next thing, well, that's the floods, or is it the tornado? Just so much is going on. So all my posts were under the fact controller, the fact controller. We're going to come to the end now. We're coming to the end. So what's that? That's me talking about Chat GPT. I put that on YouTube posts. Okay, so last weekend I see a film, a beautiful film called 8 Mountains. And in this film, they tell a story of the two boys, Romulus and Remus. RR 1818 is 360 wheel and created Rome more. He tells a story of the 8 wheel mountains and the central pivot, the bare pivot Polaris. The book is written by Paolo Cognetti. So just like in the book, The Alchemist is written by Paulo Coelho, it's always Pollux and Castor, PC. So Paul is the pole, your spine, and the North Polaris, and Peter is the Pierre, the Stein, your third eye. The story is of Pietro and Bruno. So you've got your PP, the two boys in this film, men, are called Pierre and Bruno, PB. One climbs to the top of the mountain, heaven, and never comes down again. And Pietro, Pierstone, and Bruno. So basically, I'm just going over it all. It's always the same thing. So I see this film on Sunday. I'll put this on the video so you can see. So there they are with the fire, Mars, the flame, the spirit, and he draws this picture in the film. So the wheel is going to go from 12 times 30 to make 360, back to 8 and 5 times the Venus every 8 years makes the 5-pointed star. The 5th element is found, and then we have 5 times 72 that makes 360. So again, it's the 8. So it's called the 8 mountains, and the central mountain, the crown. This is the pictures from the film that he draws. Story of the two boys, Romulus and Remus. Is exactly where we are. It's the famous picture of Lars showing you the 5th element, the star in the middle. We come back when you find your all for one and one for all, your 14 pieces, you get your 5th element, the purple crown. Blue shift, red shift, the green in the middle, the green line. That's why this egg is called the green. This is why Russel Brand has just been accused again. It's just red shift, blue shift. Russel Brand falls, and all we've got left is the green man in the middle. It's the green, it's the Chi. It's the CairO. They're going to put the sword in the CairO, and this is happening for this full moon. It's the umbrella. It opens and shuts back to 8. So as the wheel goes round, then you get the mountains. That's what they mean by those mountains. 8 mountains, and they've just found 8 pillars under the Giza pyramids. Eclipses, I'm showing you again the North Star Polaris. That's my village. Got the PC, Pollux and Castor standing in the middle on that meridian ley line, and there is the CairO. He's got his little red noddy hat on. Same thing, there's your analemma. Picture I did, Neil climbs underworld. We've got the cow in the middle. There's your 5th element, your new Venus. The beach becomes the bitch. The Romulus and Remus twins, and the Madonna and her child. There's the green man. He is now rising. The green man, the Incredible Hulk. Can you control yourself? Can you control your emotions? Dr. Zeus. The cat in the hat is your chat GPT. I don't think it's so bad, but I just personally, you know, I don't want to use it. I just want to see what happens. I don't need to use it. I have all the information I need. I find it in my, you know, I find my own information. I'm aligned with my own information. So Prince Charles, William and Harry, Rolf Harris, the two little boys, and you know, this is it, the apple, Venus, William Telltale. That is the 5-pointed star in the app. In the app, in the L, there's your green line, the green mile. Okay. So we have at Vic Fezensac a big black cloud that comes up. This is village next to me, the big, they have the Salsa, World Salsa, and they have a big bull ring, and that's where my dog was sacrificed in Vic Fezensac, V, Victoria, and the fez hat, the fez hats. Right. We're at the end. I just need to show you the wolf. So this is a very clever post which shows the floods, the Madrid line, second large crack through America, 1663, the first big crack. Then we have the eclipses, Aleph Tav, and this is showing a future map of the splits. So this is like Ophiuchus putting his foot in this fertile area of America. Okay. And now we come to Romulus and Remus. On the 7th of April and front page of Time, it's the lion lies down with the lamb, P thalamus, and all we got is wolves and sheep. A lion, alien, lien, Nile, line, Neil. This is the Neil, the underworld of Neil Klein. Fake CairO line is the A LIEN, parasites and barren infertility, Rebecca's World. So this beautiful book, Rebecca's World. Rebecca is the she-wolf. She was barren. We've got Jupiter on Barren. Venus joins Gemini, twins, Venus, Mercury, RR, Romulus and Remus, Gemini, Sagittarius, Cupid, Valentine, Batman, Robin, now work with STERILE, Catwoman, Rebecca, LOUVRE, RR, Rolls Royce, Russian Roulette, Range Rover, R18, North-South Node, Cycle, Rahu, Ketu, Head, Tail of Snake, Dragon. So the story of two wolves. An old Cherokee told his grandson, "My son, there is a battle between two wolves inside us all. One is evil, it is anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. The other is good, it is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, empathy, and truth." The boy thought about it and asked grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The old man quietly replied, "The one you feed." So this is what's going on now. Lupercalia, Romulus, the Pope, you know, the sex, the fertility, and this is it. This is what we had at Burning Man when it rained, the fertility. They had all these little species that came out, and the film was called Romulus, Alien Romulus. So there's your yin yang, 69, Lupercalia, A LIEN, it's the lien, the Nile, the lie, the new line, it's the lie. And there is your she-wolf, Le Louvre. And this is the book, Rebecca's World. There she is holding the Baghdad battery, This is the star. This is Aquarius, the fertility. We've got the camels, 1 camel and 3 camels, 5 in all. And we've got Diana with Pollux and Castor. Diana. And this is the book, Rebecca's World, that I read as a child. And in this book, there's no more. There's just ghosts, which for me is what's happening, bringing the spirit alive with Chat GPT. You're talking to the invisible. You're bringing in these fake spirits. And there she's holding the Baghdad battery, the BB, the fertility. There it is. Rebecca, the mother of twins. It's just the she-wolf, Lupercalia. Isaac and Rebecca. And that is the book, Rebecca's World, being shown the gold. So this is Venus joining the mutable cross, Jupiter and Mercury, Batman, you've got the hero, you've got the spy, and you've got the green man. So Terry Nation, who wrote that book, he also, he's a very creepy man. He also created the Daleks in Doctor Who. The Daleks and Davros from Wales, the Whale's Tale. So there's more about him, but interesting. We've got two. So we've got the Gemini. We've got Venus, Taurus with Gemini and Virgo, Estelle and Pip, the boys. Mercury and Gemini. So there's so much to see all here, but I'm sure you've all looked into it and seen Tasmanian Romulus and Remus. It's King Solomon. And the alien are these parasites rising. It's this, you know, can you control yourself? I like this. Venus, goddess of love, meets Saturn, lord of karma, just as Mercury retrograde ends. This is the kind of cosmic precision that leaves no room for confusion. This is karmic, bold, and undeniable. You're being shown exactly where your heart has been chasing fantasy and where something real is ready to grow. Mercury brings the truth. Venus and Saturn deliver the final lesson. If you've been caught in a cycle of almost mixed signals or emotional breadcrumbing, this is your wake-up call, the connection you have been clinging to. If it lacks effort, honesty and depth will feel heavier now. Karmic ties resurface for review. Someone may reappear just as you are ready to let go. Do not fall back into the dream. Look at the reality. On the other hand, if you've been building something rooted in care, presence and honesty, this becomes a moment of progress. Venus and Saturn reward what is consistent. This energy brings harmony, structure, deeper devotion, and the possibility of lasting love. Let fantasies dissolve and end the karmic loops that drain your energy. What stays now must offer depth, safety, and something to build on. Choose the person who shows up. Choose the version. Oh, I forgot to put in these. I wonder if it will make any difference. I get confused. I don't think it will make any difference. I don't know. Goodness. Okay, so I think that we have come to an end. This is again the third eye. Jupiter has been on Aldebaran. This is just showing you Aldebaran is between these three, Betelgeuse, Sirius, and Procyon, which is the wolf. So the three are activated. Okay, one last, I think that's just more. That's just more of that we've already covered. And I think that's good. So 3/20/1992, let's come back to now. I don't see, maybe me putting this in makes absolutely no difference at all. I've got no idea what I've done. So right now, this is the big news, is that Saturn is about to move back into Pisces. We've got this full moon, which is for me really the CairO. It is the CairO. It's actually at full moon is going to be there right as the moon is on Spica. This is the she-wolf. Venus will be moving forward next to Saturn and Mercury the twins. That is the she-wolf with Mercury the twins in the home of Jupiter, as Jupiter is in the home of Venus. And this is your material woman, and this is the new Diana. Uranus is still on L, now in Taurus for 7 years, and Mars, moon, the wolf, the moon is in the home of the moon in detriment. This is the new Rome. So, and then we're going to have Hitler's birthday on the 20th, Easter Day. Last quarter moon on the 21st, the moon is going to be bang next to Pluto. So Easter Day, the moon is in Sagittarius. And then the last quarter moon, the moon is on Pluto. And then on the 27th, we have a new moon in Aries right on. So that is your CairO. We're going to have the new moon in Aries. And I probably have this new moon right here. So yeah, I did a long report for Patreon about this, and I did my tarot cards. And so yeah, Mars, look at that. The Sun and the moon, the ruler of Cancer, Mars, the ruler of Aries, mutual reception between moon and the home of Mars, and mutual reception between Venus in the home of Jupiter and Jupiter in the home of Venus. So, you know, that's Mars and Jupiter, Saint Martin de Tours, on each side of the Silver Gateway, and this double mutual reception going on as the Sun is exalted in Aries, and King Charles has got his moon in Aries and his Sun in Libra. And so, you know, that he was made for this CairO date. And there we fully have Venus and Saturn conjunct. So that new moon could be that CairO, but just this is it. And then Saturn in Pisces is the whole reset, financial reset, and the division, the Atlantic division, I feel. Okay, darlings, I love you very much. Please come for readings. Consider joining us on Patreon. If you would like to give me a donation, that would be wonderful. And I'm sending you all my love, and please come for readings. That's what makes me the happiest. Okay, bye for now.